Welcome to BMG. Yerevan Bureau of Business Media, Georgia, conducts an interview with Armenian Finance Minister Vahե Հովհաննիսյանի. Mr. Minister, thank you for this opportunity.
Hello.
Mr. Minister, in the first quarter of 2024, economic activity in Armenia increased by more than 40% compared to the same period of last year. Is it the truly of result Armenian economy, or is it growing faster than its real potential?
Thank you for this interview. You are right. Our economy in last few years was growing faster than its potential. Of course, the good news is that during this time also our potential have increased. When we are talking about the first quarter, first of all, we need to indicate that the GDP growth was around 9%, but there is also a process of double checking by the statistical committee. So our estimation of the real growth is around 7.5%. We have to take into account all the flows, including the jewelry that is happening in our economy, and we have to filter in order to have a real understanding of what's happening in our economy.
Mr. Minister, about the jewelry and manufacturing industry, do you believe that Armenian economy is showing signs of Dutch disease, becoming more dependent in external factors?
Of course, our economy, being small, is highly affected by the external factors, and yes, there is a risk, but we are taking efforts for diversifying our economy while being dependent on the external economies. We have to diversify these economies and to decrease our dependency from only one economy. Though, of course, we all understand that we are part of Eurasian Economic Union, and a majority of our trade flow naturally happens with Eurasian Economic Union. However, increasing productivity of our businesses and competitiveness of our private sector has no other alternative if we want to have long-lasting, stable growth and avoid having any turbulences which will happen with any external change of any factors.
Mr. Minister, what is the government doing to uplift other sectors of Armenian economy?
We are having a big package of support to agriculture, to grow intensive agriculture in Armenia. I think in 2023, around more than 40 billion drams was provided to this sector. And we see that the volume of the intensive orchards have increased. We have a support to the IT sector, and I hope very soon we will introduce a new package of support to the IT sector, because you know there is this high competition in the world to attract and retain good quality IT professionals, and we would like to create all the necessary environment for global IT companies to be represented in Armenia and have good conditions for their employees to live here. We also provide a very attractive support for modernizing businesses. For example, we subsidize the interest rates for the leasing. If any business would like to invest in new technologies, we subsidize IT procurement if anyone wants to increase their productivity and efficiency by investing in digitalization, and a number of other sectors. So in different ways, by also improving our trade, customs procedures, we would like to support our businesses to be more efficient in their trade and exports.
What do you see as a competitive advantage of Armenia in the region in terms of attracting investors?
I think Armenia should position itself as a high technology hub, as we were also in the time of the Soviet Union, and to provide innovative technological solutions, not only in the region but globally. I think in the last few years we see positive signals for this direction. And also we are currently actively discussing our participation in the Middle Corridor with our Crossroads of Peace initiative. And I think Armenia should also be a country which is supporting overall region in becoming a transport corridor between Asia and Europe.
What about the Armenian finance minister forecast for economic growth at the end of this year?
Generally, in Ministry of Finance, we create different scenarios for economic growth, and we have, as you know, we have a targeted 7% growth with our budget, and we generally advise the government what should be done in order to achieve this target. Recently, we have done analysis, and of course, as I said, we have different scenarios. But with the current scenario, which is most probable to our view, though many things can change through the course of the year, we think it will be around 7%, a little bit below 7%.
How manageable is Armenian public debt, and how much is it the extent to increase by the end of this year?
As you know, we have had remarkable results for last few years, where only in 2 years we were able to decrease our debt from 63% to 47%. And the other positive results was that we managed to increase the share of our Armenian denominated debt, which is a little bit below 50% now. And this puts us in the area where our debt is in a very sustainable level, and the rating agencies' recent changes in our rating is one of the indicators for that. We are sure that till the end of the year we will maintain the level of our government debt below 50%.
Armenia and Georgia are one of the most important trade partners for each other. In the terms of custom procedures, are there any challenges that do you work together in order to overcome?
Ministry of Finance is not actively involved in these discussions, but I know that our colleagues in SRC are working very closely with Ministry of Finance of Georgia, as in Georgia, Ministry of Finance is also responsible for the customs and tax. And there are many areas where we are synchronizing our work in order to make all the operations smoothly. But I also would like to indicate that there is a very good cooperation between Ministry of Finance of Armenia and Ministry of Finance of Georgia. And it is becoming a tradition already that every year we meet to discuss our fiscal policies and our forecast for the future, to learn from each other, and our colleagues are exchanging our policies, learning from each other. And I think this is a very positive thing, which can later on turn into more regional cooperation. We have met last year in Armenia, and we are now planning our next meeting for this summer.
Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you.
We conducted the interview with Armenian Finance Minister Vahე Հովհաննիսյան. Thank you for your attention.